Hello.
But what, you think you're just going to start the show?
Well, you weren't saying anything.
So what, now you're just going to like awkwardly start the show?
Yes. Because it's usually awkwardly started by you making a face or staring at me.
No Pants Friday. No Pants Friday. No Pants. No Pants. No Pants Friday.
That's pretty much how it goes.
That's it.
That's it. All right, show's over.
It's Friday. Yay! I don't know what that means to most people, but you know, when you work from home and you work for yourself, Friday is just another day of the week.
Whatever. I don't know. I'm kind of excited because for me, Friday is like once we get our shipping done in the morning, we are good to go for the whole weekend because we don't do shipping on Saturdays because I'd rather ship a whole bunch of stuff on Monday. And then this time, Monday is a holiday, a postal holiday. So we don't have to ship for 3 days, which is super exciting.
Yes.
Because I just
3 days, no shipping, just work.
Yeah.
For the next 3 days.
Teresa, I disagree. Friday is not just another day. Because like I said,
it is for me, Teresa.
But the thing is, like, and I get it, like not everybody does, like maybe you don't ship every day. For us, because we are full time and have a decent volume going out, we have to ship every single day that we have to ship. So Monday through Friday we ship, and Mondays especially are big days. But even today, like I shipped out 7 items, and you shipped out a handful of items. 7. So we each shipped out 7 items.
7 was a slow day, actually.
Yeah, and so like I mean, I had days this week when I was shipping out 13 items, and it wasn't a Monday. So it's like, for me, it's like there is something special about Friday because I mean, obviously I wear no pants every day, but you know,
she really does. Our house guests that came, my friends, now Katie's friends too, that came last week were like, I'm like, you just need to deal with the fact that she just doesn't wear pants. I'm sorry.
That's right.
I hate to tell you.
That's right. Can you guys hear our dryer in the background?
I don't think so.
I'm drying a jacket that has like a heavy zipper on it, and so it's making that like knocking sound every time it goes around. So hopefully it's not too loud, but I need to get it dry. Anywho, yeah, I am actually wearing pajama pants. I feel a little bit like I'm being dishonest right now, but it's now cold. That it's the dead of winter in Vegas, so which means it's like 65 degrees outside. It's very chilly. And no, it is. You know, you really don't realize how much of a difference having no moisture in the air makes, because it can be really sunny outside, but if it's like 60 degrees, you feel pretty chilly because there's like no moisture. Like there's, you know, like when it's humid and it's 60 degrees, it's like it feels nice. Yeah, it's
cold.
Pretty chilly here, guys.
A little cold. I actually put the heat on. I cracked. This is the time of the year. So November in Vegas is air conditioning in the afternoon and heat in the night and the morning. It's weird. Like some people haven't put the heat on yet. And today I cracked just a little bit because it was 65 in the house and I just wanted to get the chill out of the air. So 65 in the house is a bit much.
It's a bit much.
It was a little chilly last night.
Well, I woke up in the morning and I was like under the covers and I needed to go make coffee, and I was like having to psych myself out to like be like,
don't want to get out
because I gotta jump out, put some socks on really quick, put on my slippers, put on a hoodie.
Socks, slippers, hoodie.
But then as soon as I started pulling my stuff, I warmed up pretty fast. So it's like, it's hard to regulate the temperature. Yep. But anyway, how's everybody doing? How's your week been? Ours has been crazy busy.
Crazy busy.
Super crazy busy. I got a really awesome message from my dad. Was it yesterday?
Day before.
It was the day before yesterday. Now I'm confused. It took two days for him to figure it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, my dad sent me a text message and he was like, hey, I have a proposal for you. How would you like it if for your Christmas present, I fly both of you out here, get you both round trip tickets so you can come here for Christmas? And so that's pretty cool. For one thing, obviously, like we're over here and this is going to be my first. Well, I was here just before Christmas last year.
You were here 10 days before Christmas.
10 days before Christmas. So I haven't been home in a year. And so we weren't necessarily, you know, we're planning on going to visit sometime within the next, I don't know, handful of months, but not necessarily for Christmas because we do like a big Christmas here.
And my daughter's coming for Christmas.
Yeah, her daughter's coming for Christmas, but we do like she always does an open house on Christmas Eve and stuff like that. But the fact that he gave us the invite, and not only that, like in the past, he probably would have just, where's the doorbell? And a knock. They get a ring.
Excuse me.
And a knock. Anyway, I don't know if it's somebody delivering. I'm gonna go look outside. Who's behind us? What's going on?
Katie, you're on the air.
I don't care. I do what I want. I wanted to look out the window, guys. I don't see any cars out there. So it's a little weird. And now the dogs are going to be barking. So hold on. Hold, please. Hold, please. It's Avon. See, we had that sign up before. We had the sign up before the elections where it was just basically, it said, it was like me yelling, no, and then telling them that we already voted. What did they want?
Do you want energy efficient windows?
We don't want energy efficient windows, guys.
I don't care about green energy. I want to ruin the environment.
We want to be constantly either freezing, cold, or too hot. That's the way we like to do it.
Anyway,
Sorry,
guys.
Let's get back to the point here. Let's get back to the point. So anyway, the fact that in the past, my dad would have maybe said like, hey, I'll pay for you to come fly home and stay with us.
I have to shut the dryer off. It really is loud.
See, we are downstairs now, and I'm not going to send her back down, so you're just going to have to deal with it. Can you guys actually hear it?
Is it really that loud?
If it is loud, we'll go turn it off. But anyway, the fact that he extended the invitation to both of us, like it wasn't like just for me, but the fact that, I mean, it's only been like a few years that I've even been able to bring somebody I was in a relationship home to my parents' house. So times have been a-changing. And so for him to actually not only invite us to come home, but pay for us both to come home and stay in his house, it's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal. Yeah. So, yeah, see, Teresa says it's fine. It's ambiance. They can hear it. Yeah, DuPage Picker says, are you drying quarters? No, it's like a big fat zipper in a jacket.
See, that's what I said. She's drying her rock collection.
Yeah. So anyway, so we do our own Christmas here. And so I said to him, that's really awesome. We are doing our own Christmas here, but could we do it like the following weekend? And so we were basically like, yeah, let's totally do it. So now we're going to go back home. He just bought the tickets today. And so we're going to be going on the 27th, which is a Thursday. So the night of the 27th, we're going to be flying back to Oregon, and then we're going to be there until that Monday, which is New Year's Eve. So the 31st, we'll be coming back here.
So we're going to spend probably one day that we're there in Portland. So I guess, Lorna, you're going to have to come with Pat and come meet us for the day and hang out.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's the rule.
I mean, or if they want to come all the way down and stay in their little camper
at mom and dad's house, they could do that.
They could do that.
Your parents would probably love that.
Yeah, they wouldn't care. So anyway, we'll figure it out, Lorna. We'll figure it out, but we would love to see you if we can.
So yeah, so we're going to do that the week after Christmas. That's a really nice Christmas gift. Katie was obviously very touched. I was touched. I keep telling her, Dad's coming around. So
he's been coming around for a long time, but it just takes, it's steps. It takes steps. And it's like, I already knew that. So
it's nice.
Whatever.
It's nice.
It is very, very nice. So
anyway, that's pretty exciting.
So
that's what we're going to do. So we'll do our big Christmas thing that I always do here. I do a big open house on Christmas Eve with my friends, my family.
Your family.
My family here. And hopefully my daughter is coming. She's trying to work out how many days she's going to get off of her new job around Christmas time to see if she can come. She lives in Reno. So it's a bit of a hike. It's like an all-day drive back and forth. It's like about 8 to 10 hours to drive each way. So we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. What was everybody saying in here? And we've had like a crazy couple of days though. Like we went thrifting. I went thrifting all day yesterday, pretty much like 11 hours straight of thrifting. She didn't go with me, and then she messaged me like halfway through the day, and she's like, "Can you come back and get me so I can go to the last couple places?" And I'm like, "Fine, I'll put my whole day on hold for you. Come pick you up so I can take twice as long everywhere." Sure. And so I went and picked her up.
Gee, the horror. The horror.
Anyway, so I came and picked her up, but we thrifted all day. And here's the thing, when our friends were in town for the last week, I had gone thrifting all day and got like a ton of stuff, but because they were here, I wasn't able to like do my regular thing. And so I didn't have a photography day yet. So I've got everything from this last week that I still haven't photographed. Because remember, we don't really do death piles. So it's like every week, like I'll get a bunch of stuff and then I'll photograph all of it within a couple days after that and then get it all listed. So then, because it's like kind of prime thrifting season, like with all the jackets and cool stuff out, I was like, I'm not going to miss a day of thrifting, even though I have stuff to list. So I went out and, of course, got a ton more stuff. If you guys saw my Instagram, I have a huge pile of stuff I got yesterday.
She now has a death pile.
So I now have like double the stuff. So today, after we get done with this show, I got to go to the store, go grocery shopping, get that out of the way. And then I'm probably going to be doing like a hardcore photo sesh for the rest of today, probably all day tomorrow, because I like to get it all done since I have everything set up and ready to go. And plus I have to like get myself into the mindset of like photo time. And then I like to get it all done and be ready to list it. But I have so much good stuff.
She does have good stuff. One heck of a thrifter. I did see, I responded actually to your picture on Instagram. She picked up a vintage Barbie camper for $1.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
It's going to be hard to ship because it's big and bulky, but it's not really heavy. It's just big and bulky. So make sure you take into account the size of the package when you're posting it and you're listing it for shipping.
And you would probably send that FedEx.
Yeah, probably
Most
FedEx
likely.
ground unless it was going like one state over. Yeah, for
for
sure.
sure.
And Katie is definitely a big softie, junk girl. She's absolutely a big softie.
No, look at this angry face.
She acts like she's super tough.
Do I?
Yes. And she's not a very emotional person.
That's true.
Like I'm a big weeper. I cry at everything. I cry at like Kleenex commercials. I'm ridiculous.
I'm very logic mind, like
she's very
logical.
Very logical. Not that she's not emotional. She's not, I don't know, overly emotional. I'm overly emotional. That's
I
me.
don't emotionally react to things. Like when something happens, I'm like, okay, how do we deal with this? What do we do? Blah, blah. I'm not somebody who like she's somebody who you'll hear her start to like yell and cuss and she wants to throw stuff.
Yeah.
And she'll get really angry.
All my emotions are right here all the time.
Whoa, what just happened there? That was intense. There was some intensity there, guys. Red Neckerson Resales just busted out the $1.27.
I gotta cover my ear.
Chat.
We gotta do the redneck one.
What are you
gonna
talking about? Yeah!
Okay. You good?
I was gonna do it again. It's gonna
Not
see
in my
flesh.
ear. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I'm a big softie, and she's not that she's not a big softie. She is. You just have to know that she's a big softie.
I don't wear
on the
my
surface.
emotions on my sleeves.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But the other night with the phone call from Dad, you were a little emotional. It was touching.
I felt good about it.
I know.
I wouldn't say I was emotional. Like you make it sound like I was crying or something.
No. Oh my God. God forbid anybody thinks she cried.
No, I felt really good about it. I was excited.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I'm excited I get a free trip home. I have to pay the money for it because I'm a thrifter.
Because we cheap is what you're saying. Yeah. I cry at commercials. I'm a big softie. Let's see. We actually have a business question in there from Karen.
Okay.
Just so I don't forget, I want to talk about promoted listings and how do you ship a surfboard without a surfboard box? Well, as far as shipping a surfboard, I would shrink wrap it all the way around and slap a label right on the shrink wrap.
Yeah. What about promoted listings do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Allison Big Drift Thrift says, Casey can't tell me anything sad about kids or animals. I get very upset. I will say that is
those are her triggers.
Those are my triggers too, is that kids and animals, like, if I in any way feel like they're being mistreated or like, that's what will make me like go ballistic. Like we went today, this isn't about any animals being mistreated, but our friends came into town. They live in California and they basically drove in early this morning because they have a bunch of animals and they have a ferret and they had a skunk that, now they didn't get the skunk themselves. It was somebody else had the skunk. It was de-skunked and then they couldn't have it anymore. And so basically it's like, you're not even really allowed to have skunks in California.
Right.
And so if had anyone known that they had it, they would have had to like get rid of it, but it wouldn't survive in the wild. So they had the skunk and she passed away just like this last week. And so ferrets really are very social creatures. They need a buddy. And so they, you can't buy ferrets in California. So they came here to get a ferret. So we went with them for breakfast and we went to go to the pet store because it was right nearby and they had all these pets there. And I'm, I have iffy feelings about pet stores. It kind of bothers me. And I'm very, very adamant about like rescuing animals as opposed to having them bred. And they had,
but things like ferrets and things like that,
yes.
You're going to have to get them from the store.
That's fine. I get it. But the thing that bothered me a lot was that they had kittens there. And I'm like, there are a bazillion cats out there. And no, it didn't say where the cats were from. I'm assuming if they were rescue cats, it would have said somewhere that they were rescue cats. So I'm assuming they're probably bred. I don't know.
Well, they were charging $100 to adopt the kittens.
Well, I mean, you would have to start. You'd have to pay like $100 to get a cat from a rescue too, because they usually have all their shots and they spay them and all that stuff. But
Maybe.
you could ask her. I was talking about it nonstop for like 20 minutes after because I'm like, it just
as if
bugged
we're
me.
not on the same page, and I have no idea what it means when there are cats.
But it wasn't. I wasn't trying to educate you. I was just ranting about it because it's like I don't like the idea of there being kittens at a pet store because I'm like, there's a bazillion kittens out there. There's so many cats in the world. It's like one of the #1 animals that has to be put down because there's too many of them. Anyway, so let's see. Now I'm getting into it again. But I got to go back because I saw Rocky J Dog just busted out a $20 super chat. What? You trying to pull off the what?
I can't do it. I'm not quite as
super
musical.
chat. Super chat. It's super chatty. Yow.
It doesn't come with free tickles.
Yeah, it does. They're not free. Somebody paid for them. Don't you know that? Wait, hold on a second. What? Thrift trader? What? Jason just busted out a $25 super chat and said, thank you too for allowing me to show a pantsless.
You might need that back for bail money. I don't know where you are.
I'm just glad that this isn't like last time when you apparently crapped your pants because you told us you evacuated them. And I'm like, you should not be evacuating your pants or your bowels at any time. I feel like that's problematic. I feel like that's something you should get looked at, but we're happy to have you show up pantsless, Jason. So good to see you here. You guys should check out, he's got a YouTube channel, Thrift Trader, obviously his name's right there. And he also,
Jason Decent.
Jason
eBay
Decent.
Sellers Anonymous.
eBay Sellers Anonymous. Actually, I think it should be called eBay Buyers Anonymous or eBay Sourcers Anonymous. Because I know about Jason and his piles of stuff that he needs to get listed. Although he's been kicking butt on like listing shoes lately.
I think he's found his niche.
Yeah.
I think shoes and electronics are your thing, dude.
Yeah, for sure. And we're both super jealous that we don't have enough space here to get those shoe racks.
I'm jealous of the shoe rack
system
he's got going on. He's got these fantastic shoe racks. So I probably have 300 pairs of shoes, over 200 anyway, listed in my store. And they're in 50-gallon totes. I have 4 huge 50-gallon totes. And I tend to tie my shoes together so that they don't get lost in the totes. But women's shoes, you can't really do that with. So I'm constantly like half dumping out the totes to try to find a pair when I sell them. It's a pain in the butt, I'll tell you.
We just don't have space to have those racks, but they're pretty awesome. So just tell me, Jason, tell me that you have started using Cubic priority shipping for those shoes because I need to know that you're saving money, man. Anyway,
and you owe him a super chat.
Okay, fine. Let's see.
You got to do a good song for $25.
What? He just got a shout out and then he got his channel pimped out and
whatever
his Facebook group. So I'm going to be like, Jason is a thrift trader. Sometimes he poops his pants. Sometimes he poops his pants. You think that's worth $25?
No.
Jason is a thrift trader and sometimes he poops his pants. Sorry, but it's true.
I don't.
Boom, boom. That was like a weird little spoken word rap.
Should I be?
Oh, it could be like with beatniks.
Ridiculous. I'm sorry, Jason. I'm not the singer. That's her, and that sucks.
Hey, you're the one. You're the one who. Whatever. Anyway, guys, go check out Jason's YouTube channel. And you know what I like about his group is there's lots of really big groups out there, but sometimes it's nice to be a member of like a smaller group where everybody kind of knows everybody, and you can like kind of get deeper into conversations. And because some of those there's huge groups like Casey's got his group that's got 100,000 people in it.
And he's got some whacked personalities in that group that I just have no interest in dealing with.
It just moves so fast.
I'm glad they're in his group, not mine.
You can't really keep up with what's going on. So Lorna says her eyes are leaking. Does that mean she's
laughing?
I didn't know that. It was so touching to her to hear a song about pooping your pants.
That's not what she means. He says he's finally using pirate ship. Good job.
Yay! Awesome.
We got hip flipping mamas in the house. A whole bunch of people watching.
See, Al says the crybaby pee-pee pants rap.
You scroll up a little bit. There were some questions in there while you were cackalaacking.
Cackalaacking. Cackalacka high like a hidey ho.
Anyway, the store that we went to today had the cutest little monkeys too, because
they were a little weird.
Vegas is one of those places where exotic pets, you can buy anything here. You could buy and own a tiger if you want to, like legit, you really can. So they had these little tiny monkeys, the kind that look like little old men with the white beards.
They were tiny.
Their little faces are like this big, not cabochon monkeys. I don't know. They had a weird name.
I can't remember the name.
Oh my God, they were so cute. They were so cute, but they belonged to the pet shop. They weren't for sale. And they were saying about how they,
at night they get
free reign of the place when it's closed, but they don't want anybody to steal them or whatever. So
one of them, went over and had a blanket and it like got under the blanket all the way and then it just had its little face and it was like staring at us.
It went in his little bed. He picked up the blanket, covered himself up with the little people.
Yeah.
And then poked his head out of the blanket.
My favorite though, there was a pig there and I went over to the pig and I was scratching her back and she like pushed her little butt up against me. Like she was like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. And then I went to scratch her belly and she rolled over and she was kind of making grunting noises.
Yep.
She was adorable. Yes, that was a Pee Wee Herman reference. Yes, it was.
What was the Pee Wee Herman reference?
Well, I was making a different version of the Mecca like a high, Mecca hiney ho.
Oh yeah.
Do you have to have permits for the animals? I don't know exactly how it
I don't know.
works.
We don't have exotic animals. We just have 2 rat dogs.
Yeah. Actually, I think, isn't there something weird? It's like, I will say there's a lot of leniency when it comes to what kind of animals you can have, but didn't we hear from somebody that like when you have cats, even you have to have them, you're supposed to have them registered.
Yeah, the dogs are supposed to be registered.
And that like, even if a cat like scratches you, you're supposed to like report it to animal control. And it's just like,
everything is reportable. You're not supposed to have more than 3 dogs per household here. And, Rosie, it's on Tropicana. It was near Tropicana and Eastern, near the Tropicana PetSmart. Exotic Pet.
It was called Pet Kingdom.
Oh yeah, Pet Kingdom.
Yeah, it's called Pet Kingdom. There were a couple of old cats hanging out too. They were just like walking around like, man, what's up? They were pretty cute.
Yeah, it was cute. It's not a very big pet store, but I guess they have all kinds of stuff. Anyway, our friends came to get a baby ferret so that they could put a new ferret with the other one who's only a couple years old. So they had a buddy. Yeah.
They were trying to, we have another friend who has had a few ferrets and a couple of them have passed away in the last year. And so she has 1 ferret still, and they were trying to rehome him to go live with her because then they could be buddies together, but she couldn't do it. And so they were like, well, we have to, he's pretty young. So, and then
he needed a partner.
So he just needed, they have to have a little buddy to hang out with because.
Ooh, I see a crabby Miss Silvertooth popping in. What? I've been missing her antics on the Instagrams. I see eyeballs. I see peeping. She's peeping in. I've been missing her on the Instagram, I have to say. Big fan, big follower. I think you're hysterical.
Jason wants to know if there's a market for streaked undies on eBay. There's a market for everything, man.
Maybe not eBay. Probably not eBay. You can't sell used on eBay, but I bet you could find your market somewhere. Just gonna say.
Ridiculous. Anyway, yeah, 2 ferrets are best. It's kind of like how they say that goats need to have buddies too. So
yeah, my brother and sister-in-law have goats. They started out with 4 and they're old and they're down to 2 now. And they keep saying if they lose one, they're going to have to buy 2 more because they can't have just 1 old goat and then bring in another one. Same thing would happen.
Yeah.
So
pretty much.
Anyway.
So what's going on, guys? Remember, this is AMA. So ask us anything, personal, business, whatever you want, however you want.
Oh, wait, let's see. The Shamrock Pixie says, my family and I are looking to move to Las Vegas in the spring. How long did it take to get used to the weather, moving from Wisconsin? So I came from Rhode Island, which is not too far off from Wisconsin, although your winters are even worse than ours, and that's saying something. Honestly, you'll get used to it right away. I will say your first summer will probably be a little bit oppressive. It's going to take some time to get used to the heat in the summer.
They said that to me, and I loved it right away. But it just depends on how you are with heat. I had no problem getting used to the weather right away, but I will say the first couple of months I was here, I was getting a lot of headaches, and I think that had to do with like just the the environmental differences because you are going from potentially like a more humid place, so a place that's super dry.
It's also the elevation is
and
real
the
different.
elevation is very, very different because we're
That's
over
pretty
1,000
common.
feet here.
Yeah, it's pretty common to get headaches and nosebleeds when you first move here. I know many people that have. So just drink a lot of water and get some saline nasal spray, and other than that, you'll be okay.
Yeah. All right.
Upside down
picker. So let me address this. Upside down picker. Anybody seeing sellers being able to make an offer to people that are watching items. Okay. So here's the deal. It's not completely out yet. It's not completely available to everybody yet. It's kind of getting rolled out. There was an announcement made yesterday on the community boards that they are rolling it out now. But so basically back in July, when we were at eBay Open, they made an announcement that they were going to be bringing this feature to eBay. And basically it's similar to like what Poshmark has, where you'll be able to, if an item has watchers on it, you will be able to make an offer to them. And then whoever takes the offer first buys it, right? So it's a really cool feature. Well, they didn't give any date for when it was going to happen. Then like a couple months ago, I want to say, or like a month or so ago, there was eBay for Business had a live video. They do videos every Wednesday, and they had somebody on who mentioned it like it was something that was out. And it turns out it was only out to some sellers because they're kind of rolling it out slowly. So they started it out with I'm trying to make this sound really confusing, but it is kind of complicated to a certain degree. So eBay puts sellers into two different groups, and one of them is called consumer to consumer, and the other one's business to consumer. So consumer to consumer is what they consider hobby sellers. So, and I'm not entirely sure how they determine the difference. If it's like
it might be the number of
maybe
things you sold or have listed,
you don't have store or whatever it is, but we're not real sure. They consider some sellers to just be hobby sellers, and so they call them consumer to consumer sellers. And a lot of times the tools that they have are like a more simplified, kind of automated version.
It's like the simplified or the easy listing page.
That we don't use.
That I've never seen. So
right. And so they were the ones who got it first. And I think it had to do with they were just trying to like roll it out slowly and figure out any bugs. And so now what they're saying is it's going to, they've listened to us because we were like, where's ours? We want to be able to make offers to watchers. And I was one of the biggest whiners. And so now they're going to be, now they're going to be rolling it out to the business to consumer side, which is the rest of us sellers who do this as a business, but it's not completely available yet. So they made it an announcement yesterday. I still don't have it.
I don't have it yet.
I think
Teresa doesn't have it yet.
I think that there's some hiccups they're having with rolling it out, but it's supposed to be, I think some people are supposed to have it even today. But it should show up on your active listings page. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like. I actually do have it when I go, I have like kind of like a secret back way I can get to.
She's got a cheat link.
I got a cheat link that I figured out by looking at somebody else's screenshot where I'm like, I want to see if I have that page. And I found it. So now I have it saved. And when I go to that page, I actually do have it on there. But it's super limited. So basically for the consumer to consumer or hobby sellers, it's like when you're on that page, it shows you like your 5 oldest listings that have watchers. And those are the ones you can make an offer to, but that's it. And you have to make your offer and then that one will disappear and then the next one will come up. So it's super limited. I think that the one that's going to be for business sellers will be something that will have more control over who we can make offers to. But I don't know yet because we don't have it.
It really should come out at any point. That's really the thing. So we're not entirely sure what it's going to look like. But I promise you, we will be screenshotting, sharing a live screen, whatever, to show you guys what it looks like as soon as one of us has it.
Yeah.
And that should be shortly. So
it should be.
I promise we'll talk about it. It's a big deal. I'm super psyched about it.
Yeah. I mean, let me see. I can see if I have something, if I have one right now that I can
you kind of have that weird thing that I've never, like, I don't know what the heck that looks like.
This page? This is but this is because you probably have this. You just don't know it because you have to have the direct link to it. And see, it's not coming up every time. Like I'm hitting refresh and it's not showing me every time. So we'll see if it pops up while we're still doing this, I will go ahead. Oh, here we go. So here it is. Okay. So,
all right. So let's see. Well, you have, in the meantime, you have a
you guys
super chat.
It's my favorite Corey 111815. Once upon a time, I actually met Corey 111814, and he was a dick. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. So Corey 111815, Jesus made him right. So Anyway, I mean, I'm assuming he's a dude. It looks like the picture. I'm looking. I
It's
can't
a
really
dude.
tell. I can't really tell. Anyway, super chat $9.99 from Corey 111815. I'd sing you your Corey song. I made it before, but I don't really remember the words. But I will give you a
Because she was
super chat.
freestyling.
Super chat. It's super chat day. Yow. That one goes out to my favorite Corey. Corey 111815.
There's another Corey in here whose feelings are so hurt.
Are you just saying that, or
I'm sorry.
Did you see it?
Sorry, Corey. Rocky J Dog, do you know anyone in New York that has vintage knowledge? I'm looking for someone to teach me by going to a vintage store with me. I'll make it worth their while. I would actually pop into our boss Facebook group and ask who is located in New York that has vintage and knows vintage well.
Yeah.
And maybe not lead with the you're going to make it worth their while, but
Mm-hmm.
find out who might be in your area. I mean, I know that, Kathy Terrell lives in New York City, but I don't know what her knowledge is about vintage. She's an extremely knowledgeable eBayer. But I'm not sure what her level of knowledge is on vintage.
Knowledge.
Big Mac says, recently eBay's been sending me random messages. If you reduce the item by 5%, eBay will notify the watchers of reduced price. Everybody gets those messages. I've tried it a couple of times. It doesn't really work for me. It might be worth it to try. I don't know of anybody that it actually worked well for.
If you watch any stuff, haven't you ever gotten, I've gotten messages before where it's like, oh, this price was reduced. It'll be something that I'm watching. And it's like, I've never done it, but I'm sure some people might. So yeah, so let me show really quick. I'm going to go ahead.
Yeah, see, I just said that a few minutes ago. My eBay logo is red as well.
I think it's because it's the holidays, man.
I don't,
all right, let me see.
I don't know about that. Yep, Karen, we did talk about that. Monday is a postal holiday, so ship accordingly. Ship tomorrow if you want to. We're still not gonna. That just means I have an extra day of not shipping. Dana, you're disgusting.
Dana wants to know, how sad are you that McRibs are passing Vegas by again this year? I am not sad at all. I've never been to McRibs. Actually, to be honest, here's the thing.
I've never had one.
I've never had a McRib, so I can't
You've
say
never had one either?
No.
That's so weird.
But the reason is because it doesn't have barbecue sauce on it.
I'm not a fan of barbecue sauce.
See, most barbecue sauce I don't really like. It depends. I'll eat some ribs and stuff, but to me, a sandwich with barbecue sauce just sounds kind of gross. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys real quick.
And then while you're setting that up, I'm just going to answer the question. Have you ever blocked a buyer? Does blocking a buyer affect your status with eBay? To answer the question, the second half of your question first, it does not affect your status with eBay in any way. I have blocked buyers way back in the past, but to be honest with you, blocking a buyer doesn't do anything.
You're wasting your time.
It only blocks the buyer using that specific ID from buying from you. They can still send you messages and they can still get around that by creating a second ID or going in and purchasing as a guest. So it's kind of irrelevant.
If you're feeling like you have to block somebody because they're somehow going to come after you or do something to you or whatever, if they're that kind of person, then they're just going to make another account or they're going to do it again. It's a waste of your time and energy to even think about it.
I think I have a blocked buyer list because I've been on eBay and have had my ID since 1999. So I think I have a blocked buyer list of about 25 people. And I think half of them were sellers that used to be on the message boards that we used to block IDs because they were trolls on the boards.
All right. So I'm sharing the page right here. So for most of us, I would assume when you go to my eBay, it takes you to your seller hub. This is just basic stuff that we're looking at. And now, but I have the secret shortcut, which is my eBay selling overview. So I'm going to click on this and see how it goes up here. So any of you guys can try this out. Just type in on your own computer, ebay.com/mys/overview.
I don't even see. That's so weird to me. I never
have either. Somebody showed a screenshot of their make an offer feature to watchers. And I was like, I don't even have a screen that looks like that. And within the screenshot, it just so happened that it showed the URL. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go check out that URL because I'm like, I'm a detective this shit right now. And I went and clickety clackety, clickety clackety, clickety clackety. I did it. And guess what? It came up like that screen. So if you look, this is a super simplified thing. And if you go down, see this, here's the thing though. It's it doesn't show it every time. So I have to sit here. Actually, it shows on this one. So what I've found is I have to refresh it a bunch of times.
Your screen might be blurry or you're going too fast.
Well, hold on. So here it says send offer to buyers. Can you guys see that? Can you guys see it? If your screen is blurry, try refreshing. Let me know if you guys can see this screen. Can you see it? The URL, it shows, you should be able to see it right on your screen. It's www.ebay.com.
You've got to go back up. You can't see it right there.
Well, yes, you can. It's just you can't see it because this is in the way.
Oh,
they can see my whole screen. So right here, ebay.com/mys/overview. So MYS/overview. You guys got that? You got that? Anyway, so
is there a dot there? Is it MYS./overview?
No.
Oh.
You shut your mouth. Don't listen to her stupid mouth, guys.
I know, Mr. Magoo. I can't see anything.
Anyway, so the way it's set up is it's a super simplified thing where, and again, you guys
it just got blurry again. See, I think it's when you're scrolling, it's making.
I'm not scrolling anything right now. So anyway, it says send offer to buyers. Again, if you don't see it on this, if you get to this page and you don't see it on yours, try refreshing it a few times, because I'm telling you, for some reason, it won't load every time. But it says send offer to buyers. It only shows my 5 oldest, so it's like these really old listings that I don't, not even stuff I really want to sell anymore, but I just have it here. So look, this one has 2 watchers, and then you can go click on send offer. And what it does is you actually go to put an amount in right here, and you do get to message them, and this will go to both of the watchers of that item. So you can put something in here like, there are multiple people watching this item, and I'm sending out this one-time offer to all of you that you can take, you know, whatever you want to put in there, and then you send it, and it actually sends them an offer. So, but like I said, there's only 5 of them that you can do. You can't pick and choose out of all your listings. And it's only your oldest 5. And then as you do one, it goes away. And then the next one populates those 5 options. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing.
It says something. See, I haven't found it yet either. I haven't looked at it. It says, Pam says, it says preview the new selling overview. I don't have it.
I don't know. But listen, Teresa, you said you can get to the URL, but you can't make offers to watchers at all. How many times have you refreshed? I'm telling you, I have refreshed 10 times in a row and had it not show up, and then had it show up. So you may have it and you just don't realize it. It's a little bit wonky. I'm guessing it's just glitchy because this is a whole new thing that they're putting into place. But that's what it is. That's all it is right now. Like I said, it's super limited. So it's like, if you don't want to make offers to those 5 people or 5 listings that you have on there right now, you're kind of stuck and you can't get to any other ones. So
some people are saying it's blurry. A lot of people are saying it's blurry, and it's blurry on Sundays too. Jasso said, I don't know.
Is it like super blurry where you can't even see us at all, or is it just a little bit where I can say quit being crybaby pee-pee pants?
I'm
kidding.
We have another camera. We're probably going to try another camera just to see if that makes a difference. Not right now, but later today, or we'll test it out.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Teresa, it is not the buyer to consumer screen, seller screen. That's what I was saying, is that the consumer to consumer hobby sellers have all the time. And so for them, the ones that have access to the thing, it's on that page. You can get to it if you have the URL like you just did. And I'm telling you, I have the offer to watchers feature. And so you might be able to, I know that that's not the version that we're going to have when it goes to the business side. This is just like a secret way you can get to it. And if you have it, you can play around with the feature a little bit. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Teresa says, now we're freezing.
Now we're freezing.
What to say.
I don't know.
Our computer's fine.
I don't know. I'm seeing our own thing, and it's working okay.
All I can see is you animatedly talking and me sitting there like a big doofus.
Looking unimpressed.
Yeah.
That's what they have to look at all the time.
Sorry, everybody.
Anyway, so yeah, so feel free to like go and do my little backdoor hack there and just go play around with it, because like I said, I'm hoping that when it does get hopefully today, over the next, like they haven't, like they said in their announcement that they made, they didn't give any kind of calendar of how they're going to release. It just says it's going to be rolling out. They're like, we were listening to you guys and it's rolling out, blah, blah. So just be on the lookout for it. But for now, you can try that and see if you can access the easy.
Our internet speed is fantastic. We checked just before we started this morning.
Yeah. I mean, I can check it right now for Teresa because
it's at like 30 something up.
Yeah, I checked it just before we started. But anyway. Oh, Barbara Colson, hold the phone. I have it. I can send offers to 5. Woo-hoo. Yeah, so basically, like I said, if you try it and you realize that it's super limited, give it some time until they do add it to the business side of things, the business to consumer side, which is what most of us are, before you make any judgments about it or decide if you like it or don't like it. Because I'm imagining, I'm going to guess that when it comes to our side of things, it's probably going to have a lot more flexibility because they do like to make things super simplified for the hobby sellers.
Yeah, our upload speeds are at 30.82.
Yeah, our upload speeds are really, really good. So I think for one thing, our camera is a little bit on the blurry side. So we've noticed that like if you go super up close, it gets nice and crisp and clear. Like, can you see that little, see that? See that? But then our faces are kind of blurry. Sorry, guys.
We're looking for soft light filter.
Yeah, so Pam says once you send offers, it adds more. So yeah, so that's where it's a little bit problematic because I have 1,800 listings. I probably have 1,000 of them at least that have watchers. So if I want to go, especially with some of my higher price stuff where I've got a lot more room to play around, and then maybe I have some really cool high end stuff that's super expensive that I'm like, you know what? I've got 8 watchers. I want to give like $50 off. It's like I can't get to that one until I go 5 at a time. Really not even 5 at a time, 1 at a time through that other one. Yeah, it's a whole process. It takes a long time. So it's fun to get to play around with it right now. But like I said, I'm assuming that there's going to be more flexibility and more control once we get it on the business to consumer side. So
it should be. I would assume because that's not very user friendly the way it's set up right there.
Yeah,
so,
but I get that it's like if you're talking about
if you only have 5 listings,
and if you're talking about hobby sellers where you don't want it to be too difficult, you want it to be super user friendly. I mean, it's like when we talk about all these other platforms, how easy they are. A lot of that's because they don't give you as much control. They're like, we're going to give a flat price for this, and this is how you do it every time, and blah, blah, blah. When you have more control, you can do more, but it does get more complicated. So, blah, blah, blah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
I can't even with this one.
We're
supposed to be stuck at home for the next 3 days listing and working, and I may kill her before the end of the weekend.
Hi. What are you doing? What's going on? You getting some work done?
So I don't know how many of you guys are in the Boss Facebook group, but who's the girl that was in our group that posted that picture today? I got to tell you,
it's funny.
The funniest thing I probably have ever seen.
Yeah.
Boss Facebook group. Somebody ran into a picture of 2 cats dressed in
Look up on your thing.
Flannel shirts, which is, as she said, a bit cliche, but yes, the lesbians in the flannel shirts. But one of them's a boy cat wearing black glasses, and the other one's a girl cat wearing pink glasses and a little fluffy, and it kind of looks like me glaring at Katie or rolling my eyes at Katie.
How amazing is this? It's so funny.
It's really still making me laugh.
What's the white elephant in the room?
I don't know. What's the white
elephant? Is it 2 lesbians in flannel?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Dana says it's a meowsing.
It's a pretty funny
picture.
And I think she's sending it to us.
I hope so. Well, Laura Franzica was like, you better get it and I will pay for it to be shipped to Las Vegas.
Yes, the cat. This is it again, in case anyone missed it. This is the cat picture. It's already framed. And they said that the cat with the pink glasses already looks disapproving.
Yeah, so hopefully that is going to make its way to us in sometime in the near future because it will get
prominent placement.
It will get added to the wall.
Yeah, that one might be funnier than your headshot. I don't know. I didn't laugh out loud like I did with your headshot.
No. When I first saw that headshot, it was it was amazing. Okay, we still need to get frames for those.
You need to get frames.
Why are you so rude?
When convention says, wait, we're supposed to wear flannel?
Apparently so.
For the cake table at the wedding, yes. I think someone else said the funny thing, these could be our thank you cards for our gifts. I think that's even funnier.
Yeah, probably.
Because we're not going to have a cake table because we're not going to have an actual wedding.
No.
I mean, we're going to have a wedding, but it's just going to be the 2 of us. So we're going to Italy instead of wasting our money on a big wedding.
Yeah, we're going to eat the meatballs.
Yes.
Some spaghetti and the meatballs.
And lots of wine.
Spaghetti and the meatballs and the wine. That's how I'm going to do that the entire time we're in Italy.
Oh Jesus, no! Please
Everywhere
don't.
we go, I'll be like,
Well,
"Can I
because-
have some spaghetti and meatballs?" And she will be like trying to murder me
Crawl
the entire
under
time.
the table.
She'll just be like this.
We will be those
gonna
obnoxious
sit with you.
Americans.
Oh, I won't really do that. I promise. I'm slightly more well behaved when I travel internationally.
Listen,
Christiane,
you don't need to send us. It's a you don't need to send us a frame. She can go to the Dollar Tree and buy her own frame. I promise.
Oh well, she did want to send a proper photo with a proper photo. She was concerned about
the photo quality.
You don't need to send a frame, but if you want to send a photo quality one, you can do that. Christiane says that she wears flannel.
I don't know. Aren't we going to meet you with your husband?
Awesome. Thrifting in Italy? I don't know.
Maybe
we might have to see what
it'd
the
be a
deal
little pricey to send home. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. But it would be fun to see what there is. Ooh, speaking of thrifting elsewhere, so when I went sourcing yesterday, I went to, whenever I can remember, I always try to stop by Buffalo Exchange. I like going there because they usually have really cool vintage stuff. It's a good place to find t-shirts and sweatshirts and jackets. It is a lot spendier than like going to the thrift store, but it's pretty much guaranteed I'm going to find at least a couple of things that I'm going to decide are worth it, even if they are priced a little higher. So I like going there. And so I went, and you know, if you've ever been to Buffalo Exchange, they have like the price tags on them. And then some of them will have a red sales stamp on them. And so I was just asking them like what day, I was like, what day of the week or when do you guys usually do your markdowns? And so the girl there was telling me that like at the beginning of the month, they go around and they put the little sales sticker on everything or sales stamp on everything. And for the first half of the month, all of that stuff is 25% off of the original price. And the second half of the month, it's all half off. Then she said something that blew my mind, okay? Because some of you guys probably already know about this. I did not. This one did not know about this. They were like, yeah, when we get to the end of the month, the stuff that hasn't sold yet, we send it off to our outlet stores. And I was like, outlet stores? Like Buffalo Exchange has outlet stores? I'm like, where are your outlet stores? And she said, well, we have two of them. One is in Texas and the other one is in Arizona. And she thinks that the one in Arizona is in Phoenix. So if one of you guys knows about it, let me know. Teresa, I don't know if you're not a thrifter, but maybe you know.
If so, that's where we're
going. If
going.
it's in Phoenix, we're going to make sure, because we're going to go, I don't know if we told you guys already, but at the end of the month after Thanksgiving, we're actually going to Phoenix and we're going to be hanging out with T-Money. And we're going to be doing some thrifting because they have a million savers there as well. Mm-hmm. But we want to go check out what the heck is this Buffalo Exchange outlet store, because if there's only two of them in the country, then that means like all the Buffalo Exchanges from all over the country, they all send their stuff to these two locations. And I don't know if it's like by the pound or what it is.
I don't know. We're going to go check it out though. I'm excited.
Yep.
Opinion on Plato's Closet. Plato's Closet is trendy teen brands. Like think Abercrombie, Hollister.
It's nothing that really, most of the time, it's not stuff that has any resale value.
It's if you have a teenager that you need to buy clothes for, go there. It's mall brands. Yeah. So mostly not stuff that you want to resell or that I have any interest in reselling.
They don't really do vintage. So it's a lot of stuff that have like printed tags and stuff like that. It's just trendier stuff that really doesn't have a lot of resale value. The only exception to that is they do carry shoes. And so depending on what the shoes are, it's possible that you could find a pair of shoes there that would have resale value. So yeah, Plato's Closet, meh. Buffalo Exchange, again, while the prices are higher, they actually carry vintage. And so they have
at least the one does here. I will tell you the Buffalo Exchanges I've been to in other states are kind of crappy. So the one here is
Oregon,
good.
The ones in Portland were great. The one in Portland's great. And the ones in California are good. But they sell like, you can find like all kinds of cool t-shirts and sweatshirts and stuff like that. So
like I got here you get like Plato's Closet. You're going to get a pair of like American Eagle jeans for like $14. Yeah.
Plato's Closet is pricey.
That's what you sell them for?
It's pricey and it's not even like good stuff as from a reseller standpoint. I mean, if that's the stuff that you like for yourself, if those are the brands you like for yourself, then yeah, it's cheaper than going and buying it new. Mm-hmm. But for resale,
like I said, if you have a teenager that you need to clothe, Plato's Closet is a good way to go.
Wait, Allison said there's a Buffalo Exchange outlet in Alaska. Did you just look it up, or did you already know that? Do you have it, Allison? I haven't looked anything up yet. Do you have any idea if it's like by the pound or how they price their stuff? Because like with Buffalo Exchange, a lot of their t-shirts they're usually anywhere from $11, $12 up to, I think the most I paid for a t-shirt there was $25.
I paid $25 for a t-shirt.
Yeah, so definitely
but I sold it for $50.
Definitely spendy. And then, but then once you get down to the 50% off, then it can be like a little bit more affordable. But if it's a really cool t-shirt, I mean, I sell t-shirts for $50, $100, so it just depends on what it is.
Right. Yeah, Plato's Closet, I think, is a little pricey for what it is. The savers here are not pricey. I mean, I don't think so. They can be. Don't get me wrong. They definitely overprice some things, and it's definitely gotten spendier over the last 5 years that I've been going. But
Alice was just messing with us. She was trying to trick us into coming.
The big joint.
Because yeah, we were gonna fly all the way to Alaska and not even check to make sure you're not lying to us with the Buffalo Exchange. Here's the thing. Listen. So, okay. So you hear people talk all the time about how Savers is expensive or Goodwill is expensive. And sometimes they definitely overprice stuff. Guaranteed. Yes, absolutely. However, this is where I always tell people you need to be, I get that some of you are just starting out or you're just learning about clothing, but the better you are, the better you know your stuff, the better you know the value of the things that you're buying to where you don't have to look up things every time. It's easier for me because I stick to men's clothing. So it's easier for me to like develop a really good base knowledge of prices and how much I can sell things for. But for me, I know I can buy a jacket for $25 and know that I'm gonna be able to sell it for $100 without looking it up usually.
And a lot of people only have, say they're only budgeting $50 a week to buy stuff for resale.
I totally get that.
And then they're only getting, lower end stuff that they can flip fast for, smaller dollar amounts, which I totally get. I get both ways. Then I would say that it is a little bit pricey. But I have no problem paying, $10, $15, $20, $30 for an item that I know I'm going to flip for $100 or $75 or whatever. So,
but this is where I guess it depends on what your goal is. If your goal is that you want to become a full-time seller and you want to bring in a full-time income that's a comfortable income, you're going to have a really hard time doing that, flipping things that you buy for $1 and sell for $15 or $20. You're going to have a really hard time doing that on your own without having other people helping you, which is going to bring in overhead. And so the way you do it as a seller on your own is that you need to be doing higher valued stuff. You need to get a higher average sale price. And it's the higher average sale price you want, the harder it is to find those items at super, super low prices.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I don't pay more than like $2 or $3 for a t-shirt. And I get lots of t-shirts all the time. But the t-shirts I get, I know I can sell for $25 or more.
For sure.
My point is I can go and spend a whole day going to Six Savers, Buffalo Exchange, and all these different places. And I'm going to spend $300, $400 in that day, but I'm going to get a ton of stuff and I'm going to list it right away because I don't let it sit around, and then it's working for me. And then, it's like I'm at, between Etsy and eBay right now, I'm at about $12,000 for the last 31 days. I mean, that's because it's like, I don't just stick to $15 items.
I spend $300 to $400 a week on sourcing, and sometimes less, but lately it's been $300 to $400 a week. And I'm averaging I had a couple of big days fall off, but in the last 31 days, I'm averaging about $2,200 to $2,400 between eBay and Etsy. Not 22. I'm sorry. That was for a week. So I'm looking at almost 10,000 the last 31 days.
So Lori says, be honest, my sales are very slow. Do I need to sell some more clothes? I'm not that great at it, but I can try. Okay, a couple of things. Lori, have you tried posting in the group your store to get some feedback? Because I try to tell people to do that. If you're feeling brave, we're super nice in there, and that you're in the group. If you ever want to like do a post where you share your store and ask for feedback, I mean, we're gonna try and help you and give you some feedback about that. Now, when it comes to clothing, it's a complicated question to answer because I do think there are a lot more clothing sellers on the platform, and just in general, I think clothing is one of the things that
it is a very
it's the easiest
market
for people to jump into because there's clothes everywhere, and it's a very saturated market. So what I'm gonna say is, I think that it is harder than it used to be to make money on clothing, and it's hard to make money on clothing if all you're doing is buying and selling really basic stuff.
Right.
I do super well at it, but that's because
you have a lot of listings.
I have a lot of listings and I know what to buy. And when I started 3 years ago, and I started going to the bins I didn't know anything about brands or clothing. But when I started, I hit the ground running and I built up my store really fast. I built up my knowledge base really fast. And so I don't think it's fair for me to say to people who say that the market's oversaturated, I don't think it's fair for me to come in and say like, what are you talking about? I'm selling $12,000 in the last month and it's all used clothing and obviously you're wrong. And I'm like, yeah, you're wrong. In some ways you're wrong and in some ways you're right, because it's just, if you have the right skill set for it, or you develop the right skill set for it, you can be super successful. It's out there. There's tons of it out there. It's really good that people want. But it's, I don't know. Did I in any way answer that question?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, babbling. Yeah, I mean, clothing is a difficult market to be in, and I never wanted to sell clothing. If any of you have been watching this enough, you've heard me say before, I only sold antiques and collectibles for many years. I never sold clothing. I hated it. I didn't start selling clothing until 5 years ago when I moved here. I love vintage hard goods too, Lori. And I love hard goods in general. And I like shoes. I like selling shoes. They don't have to be vintage.
Yep.
I like selling shoes. But the thing is that in general, clothing is something that's a lot easier to find here. And I've gotten way better at it and what I buy and what I sell. Of course, I have my bread and butter stuff. I sell $20, $25, $30 stuff all the time with free shipping. But you know what? I paid $1 or $2 or $3 for it. You know, and then I have the higher price stuff. Hard goods are where I make my most money. Hard goods is where I have my highest ROI. So it really depends on what you want to do. I don't know.
Lori made a couple of really good points, or I guess she gave some really good information here. Here's the thing. You are more excited. You say you're more excited about selling. Wait, where does it say that? More excited about vintage hard goods. Being excited is important. It's true. That's why I don't wear pants I don't wear pants because I don't want to wear pants. I don't sell pants. I don't buy and sell pants because I don't find them exciting. The same with like button-down shirts. I don't find them exciting. So because I'm able to find plenty of stuff I am excited about, that's what I focus on. But Lori, you also said, you would do a post when you hit 250 listings and you're at 210. That is probably your number one issue when it comes to sales.
Yeah, you just don't have enough stuff
I have no idea what the rest of your store looks like. I don't know what kind of items you have, but I will say that unless you have the 210 items that everybody wants, 210 listings is not enough to have any kind of regular sales, and you are going to stay frustrated and you're going to stay feeling like you're not selling enough while you have that low of an inventory. Yes, the caveat is, if you are somebody who has 200 listings and they are all items that are very, very sought after, and there's a really good market for it, there's people out there who make a living with 80 listings, but it's because they have like 80 magical listings. If you're just somebody who thrifts, which I think that's what you do, if you're somebody who thrifts for stuff, 200 listings, one-off listings is not enough for you to have any kind of sales that are dependable. You
need to have enough items to draw people to your store. When you sell one-off items and when you sell everything different and you don't specialize in a niche, you are generally not going to see return customers. It's a rarity that you see return customers, and it's also a rarity that you have anybody buy more than one item. And that's just the nature of doing business. Every sale, every item that you're selling in marketing is a fresh sale to somebody. So you're doing the work over every single time. That's just the nature of what we do. It's what I do. And I know that that's not the easiest way to do business. The best way to do business is to have solid repeatables that people want, replenishables, consumables. But that's not what interests me. So I do what I like. That's why I don't sell on Amazon. I don't find that as interesting. Nothing wrong with that. I'm knowledgeable and I'm damn sure I could make more money selling on Amazon. I'd be bored.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just a matter of getting enough items up there to sell.
Yeah. That's what it always comes down to. And it's like, people will say, well, it's about what you're selling, not how many. And it's like, yeah, I get that. And so let's all just agree that once you have your listings dialed in and they're quality listings and quality items that people want, and you've got good policies, you accept returns, blah, 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 you do all that, then it all comes down to, do you have, figure out what your sell-through rate is. Like, okay, so you have 210 listings right now. Look at your last 90 days. How many items did you sell over the last 90 days? Take that number, divide it by 3. Take that number, divide it by your total number of listings right now, which is 210. Move your decimal point over and see what your sell-through rate is. Ours is like about 10%.
Yeah, I'm about 10% right now. I'm between you know, 6 to 8% generally. I'm about 10% now because we're in Q4 and I'm taking lower offers on a lot of stuff than I normally would.
Yeah.
Some of my older stuff, I'm just trying to blow it out. So,
which we're okay with that 10% because for us, we price things high. Both of us price things higher in our own stores. Personally, I want to sell higher priced items. I don't necessarily want to sell faster because then I have to like source even more and like photograph even more and keep up with that stuff. And it's like, that's not really where I want to focus on. And so if you figure out what your sell-through rate is and you're like, oh, I have an okay sell-through rate, then it's just a matter of like getting more listings. So
313, any goals for next year? So I think we talked about middle of the year what our goals were for this year. And realistically, my goal for this year was to hit 6 figures in gross sales in my store, which would have been an increase of about 15% from last year, which I think is pretty healthy year over year, a 15% increase being a single person. And I think I'm going to try for that again next year. I may hit 6 figures this year. It's a little tough to tell right now what's going to happen over the next, 60 days in sales. So it could happen. But I think with the glitchapalooza we had going on over the summer, that really, really affected my sales. I normally don't have a summer slowdown, and I had a summer grind to a freaking halt for a few months. So I had some real tough times in the summer, and I really think it was because of a lot of the changes that were happening on the platform, not just the glitches, which were bad enough, but a lot of changes going on in the back room on the platform that I think really affected people's search results and sales in general. I know that I was definitely affected. So I may or may not hit my initial goal for this year. So that's depending on what happens in the next 60 days, that's going to affect my sales goals next year. My goal is to definitely get a bigger, better presence on Etsy. I'm up to 500 listings on Etsy now. I'd like to be doing a couple $1,000s a month on Etsy. So it's going to take me a bit to get up there and be posting regularly, and probably increase my assistance hours by another 10 to 15 hours a week so that I can actually get more work done. So have more, more listings equals more sales. So.
So my, last year, my gross sales were, I think I was like 85 or 86,000. So I wanted to break through 100,000 this year as well. And I think even with how low sales went during the summer for the same reasons that Vicky was just talking about, I think I'll be able to still do that because I put so much time into Etsy because I didn't panic, but I was like, I really didn't like how dependent I was on one platform. And when things were going poorly there, it really made me rethink like putting more time into other platforms. And so because of that, now both of those platforms are paying off for me. And so, like October, I did more than 10,000 between the two. Now I'm up to, in the last 31 days, up to like 12, I think, because Etsy
you're doing better than me.
Better.
I was at 10.
And so if it keeps going the way it's going for me, I think I'll still be able to hit that goal. So I don't know. I think next year I'd like to grow the Etsy even more. I would love to find a couple of more, I guess, sustainable regular sources for inventory, because I do thrift every week, but as my sales go up and as I have like higher average sale prices and have a little bit more capital, it would be helpful if I had a reliable source to be able to get like really good stuff. Cause it's like, it's hit or miss. Like I do pretty well every week by going to Savers, but still hit or miss if I'm going to get those really good items, which is why I like to go to Buffalo Exchange, because I know at least I can get a handful of really cool things. But it would be great if I could find a couple of sources for like a little more wholesaling, but on vintage stuff. And then building up our YouTube. I would love to build up our YouTube a lot. I'm hoping by the end of the year we should be over 5,000 subscribers. I would love to next year we should be able to more than double it. Yeah. Depends on how fast we grow it.
We're getting pretty close to 5,000 now. We're at like 40. What do we have? 4,700 or so?
Yeah, we just went through 4,700. So
I think we should have 5,000 before the end of the year.
For sure, we should for sure.
Very slow, natural, real growth. We're not trying to spam pages or places and things to try and get,
Yeah, we're putting out
the real subscribers.
We're putting out the content we put out, and the people that come to the channel that like what they see and want to stick around, they stick around. And I hope that, and I feel like our engagement is really high. I think that the people who do come and watch the show and participate and interact with us.
With the exception
really
of our 2 thumbs down that happened within the first 15 minutes of
personally,
every show.
Personally, I think those 2 thumbs down are very consistent and regular.
As soon as the notification goes out.
So I can appreciate that they are committed to following us everywhere we go and everything we do and giving us our 2 thumbs down. So I'm totally cool with that.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, Vintage Fiend says Thrift Central. You know what? I've done that before. Like, about a year and a half ago, I actually did that where I had some cash to spend, and I went on Thrift Central, and there's a couple of other Facebook groups where I basically was like, here's the money I have. Who's got some wholesale lots they want to get rid of. And, I got some really good stuff by doing that. The only problem is, some of the stuff was not great. Some of the stuff was a little disappointing. And so it's like, unless you have that like 1 or 2, I mean, maybe I could find somebody to build a relationship there that I can regularly go back to and get more from.
According to Eddie, you need to find somebody in the Philippines. Is really what it is. Philippines is where it's at on the vintage clothing. So you need to find someone to source from in the Philippines.
Yeah, apparently so. Anyway, what's up, Thrifty Christy? She's busting at the $2 super chat, and she gave us a little pink heart. $2 super chat.
I think I'm gonna swap out our coffee and soda for decaf.
That would make no difference. That would make no difference, and you know that. You know that. You see how I wake up every morning.
I can't stand it. I can't stand it today.
So I don't know if you guys know this, but I have a tendency to, speak for a little bit too long and ramble on and on and on. Somebody watched. There's a video that I did like months ago. That's just me. And it's like talking about like being a successful reseller. And
I saw the comment on that last night.
And somebody commented, and all they said was like, "Get to the point."
Yeah, like 10 minutes in. What's your point? Get to the point.
Get to the point. And I was like, you know what? Fair enough.
I'm gonna leave it.
Fair enough. I think that's very valid feedback. I was like, get to the point. Clickety clackety clickety clack.
Does she jump on the bed and yell, "Wake up, wake up"?
No.
We do wake up at the same time, but I think she knows better. That's the one time in the morning that she actually
That's not true. There's been plenty of times that I like harass you in the morning. It has nothing to do with me knowing better.
Big drift. Now I wish I could take back my thumbs down. You can actually.
Oh man. Jen Lee says, I have bins and bins of clothing to photograph list, but it seems like it's much too saturated now, considering donating them all and focusing on hard goods. Maybe just with really good vintage clothing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to give advice.
Not all of my clothing that I sell is vintage, but I do try to focus on, really good stuff.
Yeah. It's hard to say, because like I said, like I do think that there are a lot, there are way more sellers than ever before that are trying to sell clothing. But the way I look at it is a lot of them just aren't very good at it. And a lot of them don't really have that great of stuff. And so I still know that because I have probably better pictures than most people. I have better policies. It's a whole like remove all obstacles. I do everything possible to make it as easy as possible for as many buyers as possible to see my stuff and to buy my stuff from me. And then I've worked really hard to build up a knowledge base of like the stuff that I want to buy to be able to resell. And so for me personally, it doesn't bother me that it's oversaturated, because I'm like, my stuff is still going to like rise to the top, and I'm not worried about it. And I can still sell it for more than somebody else can sell it for. But I can't tell other people like, well, this is what you got to do, because just be like me. It's like, it doesn't really work that way. Like, I don't know what your skill sets are. I don't know what your stuff is that you're sourcing.
Do you see my eyes glazing over?
Get to the point.
Yeah.
Get to the point.
I need to like, what are those?
Wait a second, you guys. I wonder who was that. You that posted that?
No, it wasn't.
It looked like it might have been a fake account. Are you sure it wasn't you?
It wasn't me.
Get to the point. Where's the one with the pink hair? It's like the one who messaged you and asked if you had if you had your own YouTube channel where you did stuff by yourself because they wanted to watch that.
They're like, do you have your own channel? Because this Yahoo is too much for me.
Anyway.
Oh, Brenda's got a good message there.
Brenda says, big thanks to Katie. Sold the powerlifting shoes. Has been picked up within 2 weeks. Turned $11 into $130.
Woo-hoo.
Bam! Well, I'm glad you stuck around while I meandered and made my point. Because you sold. That's really awesome. Yeah, it's those powerlifting shoes, those weightlifting shoes, sell for a lot, and a lot of times they're priced super cheap because they don't move locally very well. Anyway.
All right, we're over the hour mark. I think I've said about 10 words this past hour.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Is your throat dry?
It's parched. It's parched. Anyway.
And Jen says, maybe you guys can come to Indiana and pick up all my clothing, bring a truck.
Do you have any vintage t-shirts?
Oh, we might.
Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Now I have to go grocery shopping. I think I'm going to wear my pajamas there. I'm going to wear my pajamas and my sliders.
Make sure you go to Walmart.
And I'm going to tell everyone, I'm engaged to Victoria.
I will not be seen with her if she wears these clothes out in public.
Anywho. All right, guys. Yeah, no pants Friday. Keep your pants off, whatnot. Get some stuff done. I'm gonna be photographing for the next 20 bazillion hours because I have.
I'm gonna be listing for the next 20 bazillion hours. So I hope you guys all have a good weekend. Get some stuff done. Get some work done. Find some time to have some fun in there. And that's it.
That's it? Or you're just gonna stop mid-sentence and be
that was not mid-sentence. That was done. I just didn't, my voice went up instead of down.
I had the time of my life.